お、やっぱ切り替わったね。ええ
Joseph, you can't go to sleep feeling like this. I'm sorry for everything, and I know you need space, but I'm here for you. You don't need to feel so lost. Joseph,
女性
have I ever told you what my mother was like?
Hello, my name is Elise Whaley, and I was the voice actress for Rachel. I'm
何
also
これ
David's wife. So that was convenient for working together.
っていうかとうとう終わ
I
り
was
そうやね
actually
ん
the
けど
voice actress for his first game, Home is Where One
めっ
Starts.
ちゃ嬉しそうな声で話
And
すやんこい
I
つ
guess that I did a good enough job that
こいつ
David
って言っ
wanted
ちゃ
me
うかな
back, so I did the voice
この
acting
お
for
姉
this
さ
one
ん
as well. David definitely coached me through it because
え
I'm
この
pretty inexperienced when
画
it comes to that.
よくない
Home is Where
こ
One
の
Starts
遠
was my
さ
first time ever doing voice acting of any kind. And we watched a lot of
何あれ
trailers of
鹿
movies we liked to get the voice right of female leads who were talking in the trailer and try to mimic that
鹿
and bring that into the game so that had the right
鹿
kind of feel and the right kind of atmosphere for the voice. My character actually is the same
さ
character from
素
Home
分
is
け
Where
見
One
に
Starts. If you've
あの
played that
鹿
game,
真似
you probably
っこ
connected that together.
しないか
And this is her
何何
probably about 15 years later, maybe 20 years later,
おお
in this game.
え
I was happy to revisit the character of Rachel.
どっ
We
ちが
kind
近
of
い
leave
こっ
her
ちの
in
方
an
が近い
ambiguous spot in Home is Where One Starts. It definitely ends on a hopeful note, but there's not a lot of details. And in this game, you see that she's able to move on through a lot of her issues that she had from her abusive home and be able to start her own family and start a new cycle without that abuse, which I think is really inspiring.
You know what it's like not to have a mom at home. And you know how hard that made my childhood.
物動かさへんとかえらこ
What
のき
helped
つ
me
ね
was watching the birds in the morning before the school bus came. I thought that my mother was one of those birds,
どっちか
and it made me want to be free like
鹿
her. My mom taught me how to fold origami cranes while she
な
was
ん
in the
でそんな
hospital.
逃げるとき消えん
So
の
I
に
told
発砲してんの
myself I would fold one every day until I could fly myself. I think we both
すごい
have
くしゃみし
always
そう
loved
やばい
animals. And for me, that love started with a
止まったわ
dog. Sometimes this Rottweiler would come up to our property line and wait at the fence for me, but only once in a while. I was sure to check every day immediately after school, and it usually ended in disappointment. I would even steal money from my passed out
途方も
dad
な
just
さ
so
す
I
ぎる
could
な
buy
これ
these off-brand dog
What?
biscuits. Even when she did stop by, she never went beyond the fence. Why was she so scared?
So it's always interesting working with your spouse because, especially on a creative project, because they want your feedback, but it's something that's also dear to their heart, and they're dear to your heart, and you definitely don't want to hurt their feelings. So
そうなん
I was a little nervous when David asked me, he had finally finished writing the script, and he asked me to go over it and see what I thought. And I had minored in English. I majored in art, but I minored in English, so I felt like I had a little bit of experience. But I was definitely like a little scared because you don't want to be too harsh, but you also want to be honest. And it was the biggest relief when I read the script. And I was like,
興
oh
奮気味
good.
で喋
My
るな
husband's a good writer. I don't have to change that much about
Eh.
this, just a few like grammatical things. And that was just like the biggest relief for me because
鹿
it can be a tricky balance working with your
Shika.
spouse and making sure that
鹿めんど
that
くさい
honesty
から
is
ええ
there,
わ
but also that love and the support is
えこ
there
れ
as
綺
well.
麗やな
I think
Oh,
my
nani?
dad was the opposite of your dad
急に
in
急に
almost
この
every
視点に
way. Except he was in the military as well. He coped with alcohol of every kind. The trailer started falling apart, he got angry, and I withdrew. More and more, I became the weird, quiet kid who made lots of origami birds and carried dog biscuits around. I think we were pretty similar when it came to being the weird kids. And that same sincerity in college was one of the reasons I was so drawn to you. Life got worse and worse. And at one point,
急
I
にめ
really
っちゃ
didn't think I
喋る
could
な
survive another
こい
day with my soul
つ
still
の女の
intact.
人
I had no real friends,
ジョ
let
セフ
alone
が寝たから
neighbors,
か。
since we lived in the middle of nowhere.
いや、
I should have talked to my
もうちょ
teacher,
っと
but
ジョセフと喋った
I
ら
was scared what he would do if he found out. As I waited for the school bus one morning, I walked around until I found something in an abandoned shed.
おお、
Something I can't put into words.
So we're talking about homes where one starts a lot.
Oh,
So if you haven't played that game,
動物がいる。
maybe this doesn't make as much sense, or maybe this is a little plug that you should go play it.
ねえねえねえねえねえねえ
In
ね
that
え
game, it actually features one of my artworks.
Ne, ne,
I work
ne,
as an
ne.
artist and
なんで
paper
歯出
cutting
してんの？
actually. And David
なん
used
か
one
今
of my
すごい
artworks
人間の
as
声
a
が聞こえた
graffiti
気するんだけど。
stencil in Home is Where One Starts that's against the wall of this shack. And
What
it
the heck?
actually shows up again in the first tree, just a fragment of it. The first tree, the title actually
うー
comes
って
from one of my
言っ
artworks
てる
that I
人
made
間の
back
声みたいな
in
のが聞こえんだけど。
2015,
シ
I
ンロ
want
ホ
to
ボ。
say. And I made this artwork while I was pregnant with our first child. And it had a lot of meaning for me, and David actually helped me come up with the title. And he asked, because I was really struggling, I was like, I have no idea what to call this, and I always go to David for title ideas and to bounce ideas off of him, and that's like the only way I can ever come up with a title is by talking with him. So we were talking back and forth and looking at this artwork, and he said, well, what kind of like movies or shows were you watching while you're making the artwork? Because my work's pretty tedious, so sometimes I'll watch a show or do some Netflix binging while I'm creating it. And I was like, oh, I actually watched Tree of Life a ton. And then we're like, Tree of Life. And we started thinking more about that and then arrived at the first tree. So it started off as one of my artworks and then became a part of David's art, which I think is really cool that we were able to share that title.
You
はい
have。
お
strength,
お、まだ
Joseph.
まだ
And you're not
あ
as
りますか。
alone as you think.
あなたは強いわ、ジョセフ。
It's all just so
起きた
pointless.
んかい。
Just waiting for life to happen. It's like having the home I always wanted is cursed out of my
いい
reach.
息子にすらなれなかった自分が親になんてなれるわけが
How
ない
could
だ
I
ろう。
do that when I couldn't even be a good son? I'm sorry.
Nah.
I know what you're saying. I just don't know how
大
things
変
will
や
work
ね
out. These
大変や
quiet
ね
hours
み
will
んな。
turn into years. We'll wonder which roads passed us by.
Then we'll forge a new road together. Besides, I discovered for myself that one fateful morning where any hopeful road leads
なん
to.
かいい感じの
There
シ
may
ーン
be
に見せ
thorns
る
and mist,
雰
but
囲気を。
it always leads to the
Das-
same thing.
And what's that?
どこへ行き着くんだと思う？家族。
I'm so glad that you're part of my family,
レイチェル
Rachel.
君が僕の家族になってくれてよかった。
And I'm glad you're part of mine.
なんや、レイチェル
A
と
question I get a lot is why a
Joseph
fox?
が
And it ties into just how
家族
important family is for
は
me.
付き合ってなんかな
And Fox is actually
にな
a
って
family name
け
from my
ど
wife's
僕は
side,
いい
from
息子じゃな
Ely's.
かったからって
And she
悩
always
んで
heard
たっ
about
てい
the
う
legacy of the Fox family.
こと。
And because of that, growing up, it was her favorite animal. She even made
めめ
these
しい
two
男や
wooden
ったってこと？
foxes for our
言い
wedding
過ぎや
cake
けどさ。
toppers. So I thought it would be cool to have that animal in the
危ね
game
危ね。
while these two people are having this conversation in the middle of the night.
もうちょっとで最後の家族が最後なんかな、最後そうやけど3匹目の狐が見つかりそうやな。シーン変わんのかい。もう絶対この先に行ったら見つかるもんや思ってたで。暗なったな、暗くなったな、雨も降ってる。
Fox knew her last cub
狐は
would be
我が
waiting
子
for
が
her at
始
the
まりの
first
木の下
tree.
で待っていることを知っていた。
She was almost
目的
there.
地まであと少しだ。
The rain cascaded onto the
木
jade
のあるところ
valley
の
where
入
the
り口
entrance
で
to
雨
the
が
tree
翡翠色
was.
の
Life
野
was
原に降り
protected
注いでいる。
because that's where life began. It was now only a mother and a daughter left. Items from my life still dotted the ground as she moved closer to her destination
あ
and
ぶ
destiny.
な。あれ取りに行かねえか。めっちゃこっちに道続いてるもんや思ってた。こっちやん。怖っ。 あ、何この置き方。紫の葉っぱみたいなやつすごいな。うわ、ドロドロや。よし、取ったぞ。ここら辺取りやすくていいな。うわ、ネチョっていう。
Usually what catches people's attention of the first tree
この
is the
人たち
visuals,
何を
of
喋ってん
course.
だろうな。ストーリー
And
とは別
I was inspired by a lot of
っていうこと
people making
なん
these
やろか。
levels. The second level is inspired by just these beautiful autumn photos of a real forest.
だからといってなんか
And
説
this
明
level,
し
the
て
Jade
るって感
Valley,
じで
is
はなさ
inspired
げないんや
by
けど
the
な。
artwork of Heather
す
Penn,
ごい
who
笑って
did
た
the
り
Overland games.
するし。
I just love those greens with a lot of gray in it. I love the strong
家がある。
vignettes in the corners of the frame. And of course,
あそこら
this
辺に向かうん
environment
かな。
pack was made by the
やばないこの色。
very talented Swedish designer Mikael Gustafsson. And
あ
of
れ。
course, his initial designs inspired me, and I was able to build
な
off
んか
of
綺
that.
麗な。
And I'm
色
really
の
grateful that he
お
allowed his
花
environment pack
じ
to
ゃ
be
ない
made
よな。
publicly available.
何かわからんけど。何かが。お家見えへんわ、ここからじゃ。足跡あんね。こっから登れなさそうだから。ここら辺はここら辺やったらいける？よしよし。78。ああ、もうそんな一応見つけてるんやな。お家結構ええ感じのお家やな。
By now, you've probably caught on to some of the themes I love to explore in
やっ
these
ぱ
stories.
ジョセフたちの
And the big
家
one is of this tree, the first tree on Earth. And a lot of people have asked me, what does that mean? Why a tree?
ストーリーが伝わってきてないから
Basically, it boils down to this
なんとも言
delicate
いようが
balance
ないん
between
やけど。
nature and its relationship with life and death.
ごめん
And
な、
I
なんかい
love
っぱ
these
い
stories
画面動
where
かしちゃって。
they put like these
あそこに
microscopic
向かうにし
relationships,
ても
like something
行
of
けへん
like a
な。
father and
と
a
りあえず
son,
こっち
and
とか。
juxtapose it next to this epic story of like the creation of the universe and the first tree on Earth, and how they can be equally as important, because in my mind, like, my family is as important as like the creation of the earth. And it reminds me of like some of the stories I love, like The Road by Cormac McCarthy, or The Tree of Life by Terrence Malick. Basically, I wanted to make sure the player felt that there was a higher power than themselves, and that there was something watching over them as they went through this story.
ストーリー。何言ってるか分からへん。こっち側かな。なんか若干道っぽさそうなんやけど。ってことはあの家はもう行けないんかな。行きたかったな。っていうかこんな上行って木があんの。これが正解かもわからんのが辛いとこよな。地肌がすごい。道はない。道はないわ。ちょい。あ、こっちじゃない。こっちでもないか。なんか強制的に行けへんくさせられてるところがあったが、こっちが正解？こっちでもないね。お、いいじゃん。なんか覇者になった気分。こっちにもお茶あんじゃん。あの家行けへんかな。 きたいけど、あ、足跡があるわ。スイカみたいな色やなこれ。81。帰れたり。わ、どんな埋まり方やねん。割れへんかな、割れへんかな。中入っても何もなさげならええわ。そしたら家行けたりするんか。それ以外に道がなさ、道がっていうか進展がありそうなところがないんだよな。ここら辺から登れへんかな。ここはこれ以上行っちゃダメるぞ。ちゃう道から来たっぽい。そしたらここから来れたんかな。あー、足跡があるけどここまで来たから行けないだと。無駄損かよ。あっちにもあるね。あそこ遠くの方にもあるな。あれ、全然ちゃう感じか。っていうか、あそこで止めるぐらいやったらね、ここ行けないようにしといてほしいんやけど、登れへんように。まあ結構全貌が見えたからええっちゃええんやけどさ。ここら辺にあったよな。
My dad was super supportive with my college
新
plans,
聞。
to a point. Things were okay until this terrible accident happened. I guess a forklift flipped over due to a bad axle, and it crushed one of the workers there. My dad didn't eat for days, even though he wasn't directly involved. It devastated him. Not only did it hurt the business, but it just freaked him out. He would talk in his sleep, muttering things about firing people and saying sorry. One fateful day he approached me, said that since my school search wasn't going well, I should finally be a man and take over the family business. He said one day he was going to die, and that all of his work, sacrifice, and even that man's life would be wasted in vain. I just lost it. Teenage me just exploded at the thought. I screwed up. I said things I shouldn't have. He was having a crisis, and I pretty much spit in his face.
ダメか。こっからなんか近道できへんかな思ってんけど。ここら辺から行けるんちゃうかなって。丘の方。
Was that the last time you talked to him?
お、
No, I called on holidays, and he would call on my birthday.
なんやこれ。
I guess we acted like nothing ever happened,
絶
which
対
was
分からへん
stupid.
わ。
Didn't want to ask about his lumber yard, and I'm sure he didn't want to ask about my job search. I never went back and visited. I think the last conversation we had was about what movies we had seen and what exactly a best boy is in the credits. I thought he would be here so much longer.
よし。こっちかな。なんかいよいよ終わりそう。